Hey there, Stellar Seeker. My name is Greg. This is the Astral Architekt Devlog number 6, if you're counting. And we're talking about Astral Assemblage games, what I've been up to, as well as where we're going for the rest of 2024 into 2025. Let's do it! So, what have I been up to? I redesigned the website. So now it's a little bit more focused on the video game to start, and I started a Discord server. You can join it by going to astralassemblage.com and clicking the big blue button above the fold there, and that'll take you into the server. We're going to be doing some really exciting things in there with regard to raffles, contests, giveaways, early access, sneak peeks, that kind of stuff. There is a timeline now to development that I didn't have the last time we spoke. I just knew where I was headed, but I hadn't really mapped it out to a timeline. So here's what's going to happen. The video game will enter first access phase here in about a month. First access is for my crowdfunding peeps. The people that are helping me finance this game are going to get first access to the game. And that is coming by way of a new program, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But the plan is not to have a version 1.0 for about 1 year because I want feedback. I don't want to build this in a vacuum. I want to build the best possible game that I can. Even though this is my first game, I think giving it a timeline of 1 year and then working with a community of invested players for 1 year will yield a truly positive gaming experience that people can be proud of to say, hey, I took part in that. You know, I want that kind of experience for myself, and I want it for you too. So that's what we're doing. Look for 7 Archons first access information to start dropping here in about 2 weeks. Next, we have the physical card game, and this is where I've been spending a lot of my time this last 2 months, is developing the physical card games that you can play with the deck of 7 Archons cards. Those 7 Archons cards, there are 84 of them, right? 7 of them are Archons, and then 77 of them are what are called aspect cards. Well, this is where we're coming from. And when I decided to do the physical version of the game, I decided to expand the deck artwork-wise. So now there are 7 Archon cards, and originally there was, 7 Archon cards, and then these 11 pieces of aspect artwork were shared across all 7 suits, as you can see. They were just color-coded differently and color-shifted. Well, I wanted to move away from that because I saw an opportunity using the power of AI to create 77 unique characters in a rapid pace that sort of beggared believability at first, but now it just inspires me because every time I sit down, there's a new story to write. There's a new story to tell. There's a new pair of shoes for me to dive into. And I really love that about game development. And so I prototyped out 77 new characters. I'm currently working through getting them all fleshed out mechanically as well as their lore. And this is where we're at today. I added a card section to the website, a card compendium, if you will. And let's take a look at Calantha. You can get here by going to the cards link at the top of the astralassemblage.com website. So Calantha's cards look like this. And she got a redesign. All of the Archons have been redesigned since you last saw them, if you've been here before. And these are her aspect cards. And so each of these characters is going to have their own little bit of lore, their own special ability, and their own innate. And among the 11 aspects, there's also what's called an innate ability. That's pretty cool, I think. Here's some of Oriel's cards. Now, one of the other things we've done is we've had to rename, here's some of Thorn's cards. We've had to rename some of the cards to have a tighter fit with the game. Let's say it that way. So let's start with the 10 card. Back here, you'll see the 10 card is called the Eon. And that was great and all, but the game itself, Seven Archons, Eon's Ascent, the video game, but that title has nothing to do with this card. And I didn't like that. So I changed the name of that card to the Seraph. And so these are the 7 Seraphs. They are cosmic AI gifted to the Archons by the Urge to act as their advisors and founts of knowledge for all of existence. You know, they have a record of not only this universe, but the previous universe, the old universe. And they have the ability to advise based on their expansive knowledge of history, just like an LLM. OpenAI's ChatGPT is a fathom of all knowledge type entity. I wanted to bring the influence that AI has had on my life into the game, and the way that I did that was through this Seraph card. Then there's the Harbinger, which used to be the Messenger card. The Messengers were bringers of calamity in my game, and I didn't feel that the name suited the aspect strongly enough. So now I've changed the name of the Messenger to the Harbinger, and here are the 7 Harbingers. And finally, there's the Fool card, which became the Whisper. The Fools were meant to be the spies of the hypostasis. And so now they're called the Whispers, which I felt was a more appropriate title. And they're more artsy type creator types, which is a tribute to one of the aspects of my personality that I enjoy. I am a fire hose of creation. And I wanted a card or a set of cards in the game to reflect that. And so each of these have their own sort of expressive ability. You know, one's a singer, one's a drone master that if you've ever seen somebody do an orchestrated drone flight, like at the Chinese Olympics, I think they did one. I thought that was a really cool form of expression, so I included a drone master. There's a book nerd. There's the lore keeper. You know, there's the illuminator, which is more of a spiritual aspect. Anyways, I could go on. So we've done all that. And this card game, the physical card game that I'm working on, you know, I have to finish the lore and the special abilities. That'll be over this next couple of weeks. And I have to do what's called a full bleed card design, which I don't have yet. I've got the 7 Archons into full bleed format, but I haven't finished the aspects. So I got to go through and process all 77 of those. Then we should be able to ship in about 3 weeks to China to start the printing process. We expect to get those back sometime during second quarter of 2024, which for us begins in September. So that's going to be awesome, and I'm looking forward to it. In addition to the physical card game, I have begun work on what is called the Astral Codex. Here in Canva, you can see my work file for the Codex, and it's pretty neat. It is a living rule book dedicated to the world of the Astral Assemblage and the games that you can play with the 7 Archons deck of cards, starting with 7 Archons Gnosis, which I created about 2 months ago now. And that was one of my last videos, was a Let's Play, which you can get to from the description. I did a Let's Play video of how to play Gnosis, which is a play daily sort of solo, solitaire-like, meditative, sort of introspective vibe. And it's a lot of fun. You can play it on your own. The goal of the game is to achieve Gnosis with all 7 Archons. And in the end, just get that high score, and always strive to beat that high score and be better, you know? And that's sort of the underlying message of this whole game, is to make better. And I thought that was cool. And so there's rules, there's lore in here. I'm still sketching out the rules for some of the games and writing things up. There's lore, and then there will be a card compendium like there is on the website here in the book as well. And then this will end up being released during the second quarter as an app that you can download from the App Store, so that if you buy the physical card game or you just want to keep up with the lore and the music and the art of the universe of the Astral Assemblage, this app will give you that. And the rule book, which is a PDF download, will be available for free or behind an email form, so that I can keep you updated with the latest versions as I revise it. The reason for the app is to avoid having to send you emails. So do install the app when that becomes available. It'll be on iOS and Android, of course. And yeah, so that covers 2024 pretty much, aside from what I'm calling the Genesis program, which we'll get to in a few minutes. So we were just talking about lore. I started Substack specifically dedicated to the lore of the Astral Assemblage and Seven Archons. And it's pretty exciting. I've got 13 or 14 articles already posted, each one a short story. Some of them are serial, like part 1, part 2, part 3. Do check that out, lorecast.substack.com. We got a new story coming in a week or so that's sort of another prequel to the universe, to the world of Seven Archons Eon's Ascent. And then we're going to dive back into the present, into the timeline that we've been working against with the stories that you see on the screen here. The next story will be a continuation of this Black Drifter's Dawn saga, which we just wrapped up. All right, now it's time for me to talk about my favorite part of this video, moving into Web3 and really leaning in to the developments that are occurring right now on the Bitcoin blockchain with regard to creating metaverses and immersive, customized experiences where you own a piece of the game. You don't just have items inside the game, you have assets that you can take with you to other environments. And I've taken the first step in that direction with the Void Mosaics. The Void Mosaics came about by accident. What I was doing was trying to develop a way to represent a bitmap on Bitcoin. A bitmap is a representation of a block of transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. And they look a little bit like this. And the problem I was having is that I was translating from code that I didn't fully understand. I was using mscribe's site as a reference here. And this is what a bitmap looks like typically when you're looking at like the mempool, or when you're on somewhere shopping for bitmaps, you see a lot of these. And I wanted to represent this in 3D, sort of like they do here. But, like I wanted to do it my way, like, which would be in gold, and it would have a really cool look to it. Well, when I tried, I failed. But when I failed upwards, which was really cool. So what happened is I finished all my coding. I like to write in long swaths and just see how far I can get without causing errors. And I got really far, and I was like, okay, it's time to look. And I just finished placing items on the grid in 3D, and then this happened. And I got what is called a void mosaic. So a void mosaic is a 3D representation of a Bitcoin block on the blockchain. And each one of these pieces that you see on the screen here equals a different transaction in that block. And you can see 3 examples right there. And then we'll go over here to the 3D example of one of my bitmaps that I own, which is actually, just coincidentally to tell you, I think it's kind of cool. It's the date that I founded my company, 6/6/2023. And here you can see, if I zoom in, there's all these little transactions which represent probably, like somebody getting something for free and just paying fees. And then there are these taller transactions, which might be somebody paying someone for goods or services. And then there are these really big ones, which might be, people moving money from their wallet to their savings account, or from, that kind of thing. Who knows? But what I do love about this is that each block generates a unique looking asset just like this. And I was like, well, I want to turn that into an object in my game. It looks so cool. And so I created this concept of void mosaics. And so a void mosaic is invented by Cygnus, the archon of celestial bodies and the lord of technology. And there's a whole story behind it. Check out the site. It's astralassemblage.com/void mosaic. Very excited about that. This is going to be the first in-game asset for 7 Archon Xeon's Ascent that you can own and put on the blockchain. And then when you come to the game and plug it in, you get access to special missions, daily death matches, which is really cool, and probably some more perks that we'll come up with in the Discord community. So please do, if you're interested in the Void Mosaics, jump into the Discord and help us plan our future there. Awesome. Finally, last thing I promise is the inclusion of the Genesis system keys as an in-game asset that you can own. And this is part of my crowdfunding campaign. I didn't want to go the Kickstarter route. I don't like how much they take in fees. I don't think it's fair to take a total of 10% of my take. So I'm trying a different approach. You might not be into it, but maybe you are. And that means using crypto. That means the Bitcoin blockchain, which I am a big fan of. And that means grabbing yourself one of these system key tokens. Each Genesis system key token unlocks a new star system that you can call home within the universe of the Astral Assemblage. And so long as you hold the key to that star system, it's yours. And you can sell it when you're done with it. If you don't want it anymore, or you're just not enjoying the game, which hopefully isn't the case, you can always sell this. So it goes back to that idea of in-game ownership and not being stuck with the bill when you decide to check out a game. You know, like if it has no value to you, sell it to someone that it does have value to. That's one of the cool things about the premise of Web3 and player ownership of assets is, you know, you don't just sink money into a game, you can recoup the money you put into a game. And that's sort of the idea behind the Genesis system key. And Genesis system key holders get first access to the game. So that means when you buy one of these tokens at astralassemblage.com/Genesis, it's not ready to go yet. So don't go try and buy one today. I'll announce it here in about a week or two. I'm just putting on some finishing touches on the tutorial videos for people that are new to crypto. And the goal here is to introduce concepts of Web3 gaming without smacking people in the face with it and being like, buy this, buy this, buy this. No, there's just this and the void mosaics. This is going to cost approximately $40. And when that's all stated in Bitcoin, it's 0.000777 Bitcoin, 0.000777 Bitcoin. And I just did that to be cheeky, you know, because 7 Archons. And when you have one of these keys, you get access to special members only Discord channels and our Discord server. You get to own your own star system and a whole host of other perks, which I've outlined here on the micro site. So do check out astralassemblage.com/Genesis. Whew. Finally, I just want to say thank you for watching. Here's our Twitter, where we're currently promoting the Void Mosaics, but here's an ad for our Discord. So do follow us over on Twitter. We post very regularly there, and are finally starting to get some attention because of our Void Mosaic project. And soon we'll get some more attention because of our Genesis System Key project, which are sort of firsts in the BRC 420 space. And in the ordinal space for GameFi. We're not the first, of course, but you know, we're really wanting to develop a program over the course of this next year through the Genesis program that is exemplary of what is possible with Web3 and Bitcoin. So there you have it. There's my supermassive fire hose update. I hope you got some cool takeaways here about what we're going to be doing over the course of this next year. And do keep in touch with us. Hit the subscribe button, visit the website, send me an email if you have any comments, or just drop into the comments below. I'll see you in the next video.